Come in, friends. The door is open. Won't you sit down? No, not there. Sit by the fire. Let the bristling flames warm you. It is chilly in here, as if the cold air of death were in the room. The door is closed. The demons are ready. Clutch your chair. You are trapped in the Chamber of Chills.
All the stories we tell are true. We believe in ghosts. Do you?
Chamber of Chills presents The Tunnel. Brought to you by The Bat.
I love walking in the woods, just walking alone, especially during the day. Sometimes I go at night, but I prefer during the morning or afternoon. A certain day, while walking, I came across a concrete structure. As I got closer, I started noticing it had an entrance which was very dark. It was against the rock of the side of a mountain. My instincts told me not to go inside, but my curious explorer nature told me the opposite. I stepped closer to the entrance and I saw on the ground a small oil lamp. Again, all my instincts were screaming not to go inside, but I ignored them. I picked up the lamp to see if it worked, and it did. It didn't shine a lot, but enough to see where I placed my feet. So I began my journey inside. At the same time I was terrified of being inside this tunnel, I felt excited. I couldn't avoid having a smile while walking this empty structure. I kept on walking, but this place looked endless. I could barely see. There was something around me besides the ground, which was some kind of gravel. Like I said, I couldn't see anything, just darkness everywhere. Who built this? I asked myself. I had been walking through these woods all my life and never came across this place. We're pretty isolated, but still. Suddenly, I started listening to footsteps. They weren't very loud, but they were definitely footsteps. They started getting louder, so it meant it was getting closer. Now I did feel nervous because I couldn't see anyone, but they could see me with this lamp. Frozen in place, I tried to focus on the location of the footsteps, but to no avail. Not being able to see and having the footsteps getting closer, I decided it was time to leave, so I started walking faster in the direction I came, or so I thought. The light at the end of the tunnel didn't appear, but I kept walking. Suddenly, whoever or whatever was walking in my direction started going faster, so I started running. After a few minutes of running, I had to stop. I was exhausted. I could feel my heart almost coming out of my chest. But the footsteps had stopped. There was only silence now. But there was something strange ahead of me. I couldn't understand what it was. It was an egg-shaped bluish thing, I would say 20 feet from me. I was still standing frozen and nervous in place, looking at it, trying to understand what this thing was. A slimy sound could be heard, and it didn't look like the egg or whatever that thing was moving up. Slowly, I could see a little more of it. It was getting bigger. All of a sudden, a pair of glowy eyes appeared. That was it for me. I started running in the opposite direction, still holding the lamp, but I had no idea where I was going. Anyway, I wanted to get as far as possible from that thing back there. But just when I thought it was safer, I stopped, and in front of me, 2 of those same creatures appeared. They were exactly the same. I turned around, and another appeared. I was surrounded by them. I started running again, trying to put some distance between me and those things. They kept chasing me through that tunnel. I couldn't see anything. I was running in complete darkness, but somehow the creatures stopped chasing me. I looked back, and there was nothing behind me. Strange. I could have sworn they were just on my tail. A few seconds passed, and I heard the most terrifying sound I had ever heard in my life. A deafening screech. It came from the opposite direction. Frozen in place, without being able to move, I kept looking back. Heavy steps could be heard coming in my direction. At this point, I accepted my fate. There was no way I was going to leave this place. The footsteps continued, getting closer to me, until they stopped right in front of me. I heard a voice of a man speaking to me. I opened my eyes, and I saw a regular man, dressed as a miner. He asked me what I was doing in the mine because I wasn't allowed to be there. At that moment, I almost cried from joy. I was so relieved I cannot describe it with words. He escorted me to the exit, and just when I was about to leave the place, I was transported back to that moment when I was hearing the footsteps. By this time, accompanied by a deep voice coming from behind my ear.
"You will never leave this place."